You're listening to West Coast Ravers Radio. West Coast Ravers Radio.
West Coast.
With your hosts, DJ Stacy G and Hive Mind.
It went something like this.
What is up, Ravers? I'm Stacy G.
And I'm Hive Mind.
We're here with episode 16 of West Coast Ravers Radio. We got a spiritual advisor, formerly known as Punk the Matrix, doing a guest mix for us today. But before that, we're going to get into our picks of the month. Let's do it.
Peace.
This is West Coast Ravers Radio with DJ Stacy G and Hive Mind.
What's up? It's Stacy G here with my picks for the month. First up is Eats Everything, The Tribute. Next up, we got Dombresky, Aragon. Next track is a Volac remix of Stanton Warriors, Pop Your Cork.
baby gon' downstairs. Take that, work that, boo that, baby gon' downstairs. baby gon' bounce that. Take that, work that, ooh that, baby gon' bounce that ass. Rub on my tits, speak on my ass. Rub on my tits, speak on my ass. Pop the cork, and shake up the dice. Pop the cork, yeah man.
Pick for the month is Bad Legs Pizza Party. Stay tuned for Hive Mind. Peace.
What's the matter, Sonny? Cut it out now. Are you scared, son? Stop treating me like a greatheart. But that's what you are, my boy. I took the accelerated course before I started on this trip. It probably was too quick.
Do you wanna keep? Do you wanna keep? Do you wanna keep? Do you wanna keep? Bass, 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 bass. Do you wanna keep bass, bass, bass?
Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin ground. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin ground. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber.
Sunday.
Stop treating me like a greatheart. But that's what you are, my boy. I took the accelerated course before I started on this trip. It probably was too quick.
Do you wanna keep? Do you wanna keep? Do you wanna keep? Do you wanna keep? Bass, 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 bass. Do you wanna keep bass, bass, bass?
Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin ground. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber still skin ground. Face mask with a built-in sound. A mic to tilt and rubber.
Sunday.
This is West Coast Ravers Radio with DJ Stacy G and Hive Mind.
Hey everybody, this is Hive Mind with my picks of the month. This first one is Crizzly and Carbin, Bangin.
In the club, gon' throw your hood up. In the club, gon' throw your hood up.
This next one's off of Eliminate's new album, it's Reload.
Reload. And I read. Let me see you lean and rock with it like a boss.
this next one some 4x4, Cause and Effect, The Enforcer.
Whatever the trouble is, people know that the policeman will deal with the situation efficiently and without fuss.
Don't frighten me.
This last one is a throwback. It's Marina and the Diamonds, Lies, Zeds Dad remix. Be sure to stay tuned for Spiritual Advisor's mix.
West Coast Ravers Radio.
All right, we're here with Spiritual Advisor. How's it going, man?
It's going great.
How'd you come up with that name, Spiritual Advisor?
Actually, what happened is I was watching Stranger Things, and in the background is the second season. In the background, in the episode where Eleven's like finds her sister, like sort of sister or whatever, and she's like trying to be all rebellious, and they're like in this little warehouse space, and there's a neon sign in the back with a hand and an eye in it, the old fortune teller sign that says Spiritual Advisor in it, and I'm like, hey, that'd be some cool artwork to make. So I like made it in Photoshop, and then I was like, maybe I should change my name to that, because that would be kind of cool. And then I realized the whole aesthetic of it was that I liked 80s music, I liked Stranger Things, I liked John Carpenter, film soundtracks, shit like that. So I was like, you know what, I could do that. I could add that and really heavy, like nasty music or whatever, like really heavy music, and put the two together, and then it would make something really, really unique and kind of a good niche for myself.
Ah, nice.
I like that origin story.
Yeah. So, how long have you been DJing and producing for?
I've been DJing for probably about 10 years. I'll put producing in quotes since I was about 19 or 20.
Okay.
Only because when I was 19 or 20, up until the time I was probably till 3. I mean, I really didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I got like a copy of when it was, before it was FL Studio, when it was just Fruity Loops.
Fruity
and
Loops.
It was like version 2. And I just started making like all this, even before that, like I was using Cool Edit Pro. I was recording my guitar, like all distorted into it, and I was recording, like had a keyboard, and I was playing making all these songs, and I thought I was going to be like the next Atari Teenage Riot. So I was just, like, screaming into a microphone and like, you know, had all these like synth parts, and I didn't have an idea what I was doing. So I was like, well, this part sounds quiet, so how about I turn it up? This part sounds quiet. That sounded quiet.
Yeah.
Move your microphone. So this part sounds quiet, so why don't we turn it up?
Yeah.
You know, and well, that part sounds quiet now, so I try.
Yeah.
So then, like, the entire mix is like distorted and redlined and bad, and I was like,
just clipping all over the place.
Just clipping all over the place, and it was not cool. So.
Oh man.
So then I started like, I got a copy of Fruity Loops, and I was like making industrial music, and I still didn't really know what I was doing. Like musically, I knew how to write music and I knew how to do stuff, but making things sound polished and produced, like I didn't know. And so probably somewhere around, I would say 2010 was when I started kind of get it, and then 2011 I got it, until about 2013 was when I really like kind of figured it out. I started, because we didn't have like the YouTube tutorials that we do now like, back then, so nobody was able to show me like, hey, here's what you do, because I was sitting alone in my room just making stuff.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. Till finally I like watched the right couple of YouTube tutorials, and I was like, oh.
Everything clicked.
So everything clicked, and then I just ended up, you know, learning how to make things sound better and more polished, and it just went from there, and it added to my creativity, and all of a sudden I could be like tons more creative, because I wasn't like, how do they do that? I was like, I can do that.
Yep.
Nice.
What inspires you to make music? Like, why do you do it?
I don't know, I've just always been in love with music. Like, ever since I was a kid. I was like 3 years old, had like a cheesy toy guitar with like little plastic strings on it, and just strummed it and sang Down on the Corner by Creedence Clearwater Revival, because I heard it on an airplane. And so I think they back when they used to give you the earbuds on the airplane, you can listen to the headphones and like play music, and I heard that, and ever since then that's just been it for me. Music's been like amazing.
Awesome.
Nice.
But at the same time, like I think a lot of the reason I create music is because it really helps me. It's like cathartic in a lot of ways, and you'll find in a lot of my music there's either some sort of like energy to it, where it's like it really makes you want to move, or you know, just gets you excited, or you'll find there's a lot of really like depth and emotion to it, if you listen to it, there's certain songs that they make, if you listen to them, you can like, dude, that dude was probably like one stroke away from blowing his brains out or something. But he made that song and he feels real better.
Yeah.
It feels better or something. Or got that out of him, and that's what it is. You get a lot of darkness out of you when you're making music, because there's a lot of dark times or whatever. If you can make music and turn what you're feeling inside into some sort of expression that you can get out of you, I think that's really good.
And you're probably helping a lot of other people too that might be going through some stuff.
Yeah, when you're going through stuff, being creative, a lot of writers, a lot of poets, a lot of filmmakers, a lot of musicians, like, have gone through some really, really dark times in their lives, and a lot of those people, you listen to the or you observe the things they create, and you can actually see, like, oh yeah, that guy was like really bad. Like, that girl was really bad. Like, and so when you figure that out, a lot of people figure out, I could do that. I could take when in some sort of medium, I could take what I'm feeling and put it out there. And I think that's really good for a lot of people. And it's really good to be kind of that, to be able to tell people, like, yeah, I do this because I am going through dark times, and I'm putting out something that makes me feel better, so that other people realize there is a way I can actually express this without having to sit around and be sad and like, not be able to tell anybody.
It's awesome. It's probably the best answer we've ever gotten to that question.
For real. Well, this one kind of takes you back. Where and when was your first show watched and played? And it doesn't have to be electronic music, just kind of in general.
My first performances were actually open mic night at Wallen's Coffee House with my acoustic guitar and singing and whatnot. And then my first actual show was sometime, I started wanting, because I've always been interested in DJ culture. Yeah. Ever since I was a kid, I grew up in the 80s, and I would watch movies like Breakin' and stuff, and see like all these DJs doing things. And one day I was just like, I met the right people. I started working for the Wells Fargo phone bank, and it just came about that I met the right people through my training class there. And I just started hanging out with people who were DJs and whatnot, and it became a thing where I was either do or die. Like, I either learn how to do this or just whatever. What am I doing? Yeah. So I got the right equipment. I first learned on a controller, and then I learned how to play records. But my first set, like, I didn't even know what I was doing. And I was like, it was at Red Rock Bar, and some friends of mine were throwing something. I made them a little flyer, and then they put me on it, and I opened up, and I was like, it was god awful. It was terrible. I'm glad there's no recordings of it. The first mix I put out, I'm glad it's gone. So
that's great.
I went out and did that, and I was like, okay, well, that wasn't so bad though. Like, and then I think probably about 2 years later is when I actually started to be any good at it, because you're always your own worst critic. But I think that was when I finally got it down. I learned how to mix on vinyl, and I think beat matching and mixing and everything just kind of came into its own, where it was just like all of a sudden it was like a second nature for me, where I was like, oh, that's what I was doing wrong. But I think that's when I started to get any good at it, to where I would actually could go out and play and be confident with what I was doing. And before that, it was like opening up for a lot of stuff and going, I guess I'm all right.
Yeah. What's your favorite genre of music?
I don't know. Like, if we're saying, I don't know, because there's so much good music in the world. Like, there's so much good music in the world.
We keep having mics slip around on stands in here. If it sounds funny, we're having studio malfunctions.
Yeah, this mic doesn't want to stay up. Like, but yeah, I think like there's so much good music in the world, and you can find something good in every genre of music. Except juggalos. No Juggalo has ever made anything good. Don't argue that with me because you'll lose that argument. But no, so I bring a lot. Like there's music brings a lot to the table. Like every genre brings at least something. But you know, I grew up loving to metal and rock music, and then you know, Nirvana really spoke to me in the grunge movement, and then. You know, but I look back, I love 80s music. I fucking love 80s music, actually. And it might, you know, and then I started hearing more electronic music, and I think what really got me into electronic music was listening to The Prodigy. Mm-hmm. So I was like, whoa, this is like, it's like really cool, but at the same time, it's just like all like ravey and whatnot, sort of. But you're like, whoa. I got really into Big Beat back in the late 90s, early 2000s, because it was like every movie was just like, you know, playing that. And then from there, I think it just you know, I'm listening to a lot of industrial, and I think my taste just kind of evolves and keeps evolving, and like new stuff comes out, new genres come out, and when I first heard dubstep, I was like, what is this? Like the beat is really slow, but the bass line is really fast. Yeah. Like this is amazing, and I think it just all evolved from there. But if I were to pick a favorite genre, like one that makes me go absolutely like crazy, it'd probably be drum and bass. Like a favorite electronic genre, that would be drum and bass, because there's always been something about it where I listen to drum and bass and it's just like it's so full of energy, but it can be so many things, because you can take drum and bass and you can make it really nasty and gnarly and just like energetic, or you can like take it and you can play like liquid drum and bass and make it really soft and pretty. And you know, and you could any good drum and bass DJ could go between the two like nothing, and like for one moment you feel all pumped up and you just want to go out and smash things, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's pretty.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Well, who's your favorite artist that you're currently listening to?
My favorite artist that I'm currently listening to, I don't know, there's so many good ones. So it's hard to say. I'm really again, you know, fucking love 80s music. So I'm really into synthwave, and I actually have a side project where I do a lot of synthwave called Neo Tokyo. But I think I've been listening to like a lot of Calm Trues because of that, and there's also like Perturbator. But you know, also as far as the dubstep and the EDM or electronic dance music aspect, I think right now the person for me who's been really doing it is SubDocta, because he's been like just
nice,
this insane rise to like from you know here to like all the way up here like in no time, and it's because he's so immensely talented, and he's been putting out such good stuff lately that I'm just like I can't even believe it. Like
it's awesome.
It's cool to be able to witness, you know, someone that you know like making such good stuff, and like being able to just like all of a sudden get booked for all these really cool things.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Definitely.
What track is like timeless to you? You can listen to it a million times and not get bored of it. Doesn't have to be electronic music either.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, I don't know, Freddie Mercury's pretty timeless, but I don't know. Again, there's so much. It's hard because there's so much good music out there that it's just like I end up like I don't know. I have to say, probably my favorite group overall is Depeche Mode. So there's like a couple of Depeche Mode tracks, like Stripped or But Not Tonight, stuff like that, where when I hear it, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
And so, again, I fucking love 80s music. It's just one of those things where I hear almost anything by Depeche Mode and I'm just practically gay for it. I love this so much, like I could marry it.
So, do you have any upcoming projects or anything that you're doing in the near future, events or anything like that?
No events yet. I've been really busy just like trying to work on music.
Yeah.
and get a lot of music ready. And then I said no events, and then all of a sudden it popped in my head. I'm gonna play Still Dream this year.
Nice.
Oh, what? Yeah. Playing Still Dream, no big deal.
There's an event.
Yeah.
No, nothing big, just big fun. This is the festival. But I think like mainly I've been just trying to make a lot of music and
I see you've been cranking out a bunch of stuff lately.
Yeah, and I have so much stuff that's I haven't even put out yet, and some of it's in this mix where I've just been like saving it because I either want to wait to put it out or I want to see if I can find someone who will put it out, like a label.
So if people want to find some of your work, where can they go?
SoundCloud basically is the easiest place to go. Just look up Spiritual Advisor.
Okay. And we will link to that in the description. And we're going to get into your mix right now. So thanks for sitting down with us, man.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah. Enjoy his mix.
West Coast Ravers Radio.
Distorted music. Dubstep.
style graffiti, rapping, and breaking became the prime expressions of a new young people subculture called hip-hop. Graffiti is the written word, there's the spoken word of rap music, and then there's the acrobatic body language of dances like breaking.
It's like that, so hit it up.
don't want to alarm you, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house! Shut! I'll get the gun! I don't want to alarm you, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house! Oh, nothing, just a little incident involving the boogeyman.
Remind me of my drop top. Titties out.
There's never hurt anyone. like some contagious disease.
West Coast Ravers Radio.
And that, folks, is episode 16. Thank you so much, Spiritual Advisor. We appreciate that. And if you want to catch us in some upcoming shows, Stacy has the dates for you.
Yeah, let's see what we got going here. We got Hive Mind playing with his brothers, his Big Bad Wolf, at Alive in the Desert Fest, June 29th through July 1st. It's an awesome festival. It's a private event, though. You'll have to get that Facebook invite to get the location of the event. We're actually hosting our own stage out there, and we'll have a full lineup of house and breakbeat music all weekend long. So if you're going to be out there, look for our dome, and you're going to hear some awesome music. We also got the Asylum Renegade coming up June 9th. And then Funk You Up Fridays at Tonic, June 15th. Another installment of Funk You Up Saturdays at Tonic Lounge, June 23rd. And like I said, we'll be at the Live in the Desert Festival. And then we also have our monthly, the third Saturday of every month at Bluebird.
Yeah.
Please follow us on Mixcloud and SoundCloud, West-Coast-Ravers-Radio. Follow us on YouTube, like our Facebook page. And if you got any questions or want to be a guest on the show, email us at westcoastraversradio@gmail.com. See you next time. Peace.
West Coast Ravers Radio.